Sonic and Goku make their way down Snake Way in record time. King Yemma told the two that it would take around 6 months to get down to King Kai, though since Sonic is the fastest thing alive, they're able to make it down in only a few days. Goku wasn't as fast in getting down there, but Sonic just carried him the rest of the way because of how slow he was going. Goku is able to fly the two up to meet King Kai, the god of the Northern Galaxy. Of course, the gravity here is pretty heavy for them, but they're able to maintain their footing after all the training that they did in the hyperbolic time chamber. They inform King Kai of the upcoming Saiyan invasion, and how they need to train up here to be able to defeat them. King Kai is open to training the two, as he's seen what these Saiyans can do and how they're bad news. Of course, the two need to tell him a joke first, which comes super easily for Sonic, but it takes a little longer for Goku to make one up. Once they're able to train under King Kai, Goku asks more about the Saiyan race, since he's still trying to get a grasp on the fact that he's an alien. King Kai tells Goku about the warrior race, and how they're all pretty evil people, who kind of deserved what they got when Black Doom destroyed their planet. In fact, Goku is the only pure-hearted Saiyan he's ever met. Sonic is concerned about this Black Doom, as what if he comes to destroy their planet as well? King Kai says that Black Doom is one of the strongest beings in the galaxy, one they should try to avoid at all cost. In fact, around 5 years ago, he started to go on more of a rampage throughout the galaxy faster than before, even becoming more of a fearsome menace than the Frieza Force. They would be lucky if he never came by, but if he did, then there pretty much wouldn't be anything that they can do. Hopefully with his training, they can have more of a fighting chance though. This doesn't make the two feel any better, as on top of the Saiyans, they might have to deal with this Black Doom guy. Hopefully, they can save him for later. They also ask about the wisps that ride inside with him, and what their deal is. King Kai explains that these wisps were all killed by the Frieza Empire and extracted of their energies years ago. There are a few that are still alive, but they are constantly drained of their energies and used by the remaining Saiyans and some Frieza soldiers. They all live very terrible lives in the hands of the Frieza Empire right now, and all of their abilities are extremely dangerous. They tell him about Raditz' laser form and spike form, which King Kai says are pretty bad ones. But there are some that are even more deadly, which are pretty much only used by the elite warriors. Unfortunately, it seems that Vegeta, one of the Saiyans coming to Earth, has these kind of wisps. It's a good thing they're up here to learn more powerful techniques, as without these, they're pretty much screwed. Now, it's time for them to really learn his two signature moves, the Kaioken and the Spirit Bomb. Sonic and Goku get ready and train super hard together to get these moves and stop the Saiyan invasion. Back on Earth, the Chaos Z fighters begin their preparations for the Saiyans invading as well. Bulma managed to head over to the King's Castle to warn King Acorn and Sally of the upcoming threat. Hopefully, they can rally their forces to show up when the Saiyans do, as they're all gonna need all the help that they can get. Sally says that she doesn't want to waste innocent lives with the military getting involved, as if these Saiyans are stronger than what King Piccolo was, they would just be sending in these men to die. She'll allow some of their strongest men to come in and help though, mainly the Chaotix. The Chaotix were able to slow down King Piccolo very slightly, and have gotten more powerful and skilled since their defeat, since they don't want something like that to happen all the time. With their help, they may be able to slow down the Saiyans enough, and get many civilians out of harm's way. She wishes she could send in more to help, but this is all she can do to save innocent lives. Bulma thanks them for the help anyways, and then goes over to the gun headquarters to ask for their help as well. Bulma meets with the gun commander, and Rouge the Bat asking for the military power and preparing for these Saiyans. Rouge is kinda skeptical on the existence of these aliens, but the gun commander says he's actually had a run-in with some aliens once, and if these Saiyans are anything like the aliens he saw in his youth, then they're gonna have one hell of a battle. He agrees to send out his forces whenever they arrive in a year's time, and try and defeat them. Bulma thanks them both for their help and understanding, and sends the message up to the fighters on Angel Island to inform them of who can help down below. Yamcha thanks her for sending the messages out, so now the group can continue their training, and be happy that they're not completely alone. The group is all training with Kami and Tikal, and while the hyperbolic time chamber is an option for them, the ones who already went inside are extremely hesitant to enter again, since that was such a miserable experience last time. Kami isn't forcing them to go inside at all, since he knows how hard that room is on people, and allows them to just train with him and Tikal. Yamcha, Tien, Tails, Amy, and Krillin all get their training from Kami and Tikal especially, since they've never trained with him before, and their styles seem to work out with Goku and Sonic, so they make sure to deeply listen to everything the two have to say. Piccolo and Knuckles are training up Gohan, hoping to get him powerful enough to stay in a fight. They don't really want him to join a battlefield against the Saiyans, since this might be extremely dangerous, but just in case something happens, they'd like this kid to be able to defend himself. Gohan tries his hardest under the tough training of Piccolo and Knuckles, and his mom wasn't too happy that he was coming up here, but Amy was able to reassure her that she would be there, so everything would be fine. Though Amy is never really around when he's being trained by these two, so she doesn't get to see how hard he has it. Luckily, Piccolo and Knuckles aren't evil people, so they don't throw Gohan down to the dinosaurs to go and fend for himself. He just has to deal with the Piccolo and Knuckles training regimen, which is quite a lot for a 5-year-old kid. He gets the hang of it though, since he is Goku's kid after all, and since they know that Goku is an alien now, Gohan is part Saiyan too, so he should have all the potential as his father in that aspect. Over the course of this year, the Chaos Z Fighters have gotten a lot more powerful, especially since they don't have the Chaos Emeralds to rely on anymore. There is no way to find them, as even Shenron couldn't, so they just have to hope that they'll turn up one day for the group to use again. Now we're gonna head into the group on Earth's power levels. I'm not gonna dive too much into it like I did back in part 6, as finding everybody's power levels just isn't fun for me, since it's a lot of guesswork, and no matter what, I'm gonna get people mad with them, and if I don't do them, I'm gonna get a bunch of comments asking where they are. So yeah, again, please don't get mad, these are all guesswork. So from weakest to strongest, we have Tails at 2,800, Amy at 2,850, Yamcha at 2,900, Krillin at 2,920, Tien at 2,930, Gohan at 3,000, Knuckles at 4,500, and Piccolo at 5,000. And real quick to clear up some misconceptions, I saw some people last part asking like why did Raditz put up a challenge because of how strong Chaos Piccolo was, but again, I just want to reiterate that they used the Chaos Emeralds last time to go super, so that's why they're able to get insane powers, but here they don't have the Chaos Emeralds anymore and have to rely on their own power, so that's why the Saiyans are actually a threat here, because they don't have the Chaos Emeralds to go super. And I mean, I thought that was pretty obvious, but I did get quite a few comments being like, oh, that doesn't make any sense, so I just wanted to clear that up here. But anyways, back to the story. Everybody has definitely gotten very powerful. Though not as powerful as Knuckles and Piccolo are, these two still have their own Chaos forms they use, and while Knuckles' multiplier of 45 times is the same, Piccolo's own power is pretty different. For starters, it's a transformation for him, as with the King Piccolo, it was just his new base form. Since Kami wanted to prevent Piccolo from becoming the perfect Chaos again, he made sure to have Piccolo use the power of Chaos sparingly, so that way he doesn't go out on a gigantic rampage. The multiplier he is now is the same as Knuckles when he transforms, 45 times. So without using all that power, he won't become perfect Chaos and flood the world this time. Chaos Knuckles' power now is 202,500, with Chaos Piccolo being 225,000, which are some giant increases in their power. So yeah, everybody is much stronger here on Earth. And up on King Kai's planet, Goku and Sonic have gotten very strong as well, since they've basically had a whole year of training. They're a lot stronger than what Goku would have been in canon. And they've had a lot of extra time to learn the techniques they've been taught. Since it's almost time for them to go, they decide to have a sparring match between the two of them to really hone in their newfound powers. King Kai is the one who suggested it, but he tells them to kinda go easy since he doesn't want them destroying his planet. The two promise he'll go easy on the planet, but not so much on each other, and power up, ready to brawl. As the two brawl in the other world, the danger they've been waiting for arrives on the planet. The two Saiyan space pods crash down in Station Square, with the gun commander immediately notified of their arrival. Hundreds of gun troops arrive surrounding the pods, their guns pointed right at them. The pods open to reveal the two Saiyans, Nappa and Prince Vegeta. The gun soldiers yell at the two to put their hands up and come quietly with them. The two Saiyans laugh, thinking these humans are pretty funny. Nappa flicks his finger and a gigantic explosion erupts, instantly pulverizing the gun soldiers and destroying the entirety of Station Square. The Chaotix were making their way into the city when the explosion went off, and the group got to witness the city's destruction. The Saiyans have been here for 5 minutes and have already destroyed an entire city, killing hundreds if not thousands of people. Vegeta tells Nappa to dial it back next time, as if they destroy the planet, then they'll never get a hand on those Chaos Emeralds that voice told Raditz, and be able to get the ultimate power. Now they need to go and find the highest powers on this planet, and head to them. Through the scouter, Vegeta is able to identify where our heroes are, and finds that they're all grouped together, so it'll be a lot less trouble to track them down. The two fly off past the Chaotix, with the group radioing into the others to warn them of the Saiyans approaching. Tails gets the radio transmission from the Chaotix, so tells them they need to get ready. Everybody gathered at a deserted location after destruction of Station Square. That way, there would be no collateral damage. So now they just have to wait. It doesn't take very long for the two to arrive and greet the others. They ask where Kakarot and that blue furry are that defeated the weakling Raditz, with Piccolo telling them they're not here, but are training to defeat these two and will be underway soon. Vegeta says that's too bad, as he was hoping to find that Grade 8 powered Kakarot and show him what real power is. These weaklings in front of them don't deserve to die by their hands, so they'll have them die by a lesser evil. Nappa plants 6 seeds into the ground, with the others wondering what they're doing. This is when the Cybermen grow from the soil, all ready to attack the others. The group are kind of intimidated by these weird plant creatures, but Krillin, Tails, and Amy have stomped a bunch of badniks in their day, so hopefully these guys will be nothing. They step up to the plate first, wanting to deal with them themselves, and while Yamcha tries to tell Krillin to stand down, he says he'll be fine. The three fight with the Cybermen, and while they are very agile and deadly creatures, they're really nothing to them right now. Tails is able to smack them around with his tails, Amy bashes one's head in with a hammer, and with just a few blows from Krillin, his goes down hard. Vegeta and Nappa are impressed with their power display, as these guys are definitely more powerful than Raditz. But power doesn't mean everything. Amy notices that the Cyberman that Tails knocked down is about to pounce right on him, so she lunges towards him and pushes him out of the way. The Cyberman jumps on Amy, and then self-destructs. The others yell out and rush over to Amy's side to see if she's okay. Amy is down for the count. Alive, but barely. Tails says he's gotta fly her out of here, since if he doesn't, she'll die. The other Cybermen go to attack him to stop him, but Krillin and Yamcha fire Kamehamehas directly towards them to blow them to pieces. Tails grabs Amy and flies off. Vegeta says that girl must have been pretty pathetic to be taken down by a Cyberman like that without any wisp powers. Let's see if everybody else will go down just as easy with them. Nappa infuses the 3 remaining Cybermen with the other wisp powers, granting Laser, 2 of them the same as Raditz, Laser, and Spike, though the other gets some weird cube power. Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha say that they'll handle these 3 the best that they can, so Piccolo and Knuckles should go after the main threat. The 3 all go for each other, as Knuckles and Piccolo step up to the other 2. Nappa tells Piccolo it's impressive that a Namekian is on this planet, so that may explain how all these other guys are stronger. A Namekian? Is that what he is? He didn't even realize it. Knuckles didn't either, as Kami and Piccolo seem just like giant slug people, which actually isn't that uncommon on this planet. But they're aliens? That's insane. Nappa tells them that they're nothing to him though, and attacks. Nappa rushes the 2 and tries to deliver a heap of strong strikes, but it's nothing to these guys. They dance around Nappa and hit harder right back at him, barreling him into the dirt. Knuckles burrows beneath the ground and rises back up under Nappa's back to send him flying, with Piccolo nailing him right back to the ground. Vegeta is impressed with their tag team ability, as individually they're as strong or stronger than Nappa, but together they're unbeatable for him. Nappa fumes, ready to run back in and attack, though Vegeta tells him not to be stupid, as the way he is now, he stands no chance. Nappa hates to admit it, but he is outclassed right now. He hasn't used his wisp powers in a long time since he has no need to, but now is that time. Nappa pulls out a yellow vial, crushing it and bursting into the Drill Wisp. Piccolo and Knuckles feel the insane boost in power, and now finally realize what Sonic and Goku were talking about when they said that this power was enormous. Nappa appears in front of Piccolo, drilling a hole right in his stomach. Piccolo yells out in pain as Knuckles goes to uppercut him. Nappa blocks it with his other drill, and goes to drill into Knuckles too. Knuckles then transforms into Chaos Knuckles, blocking the strike and punching Nappa away. Piccolo collapses to the ground and it begins to change colors. His body transforms into pure liquid as the hole is closed in his chest. Piccolo explodes in energy, becoming Chaos Piccolo. Nappa and Vegeta are surprised with this amount of power, as this must be the kind of energy those Chaos Emeralds can grant. This is getting very interesting. Way more interesting than that Grade 8 form that Kakarot showed off. Vegeta says he'll step in this time. He's very curious on the power of Chaos. He whips out his own vial, one that is purple. He crushes it in his hand and explodes in a frenzy! Vegeta barrels into Piccolo, almost like he's trying to eat him. Piccolo is able to stop him with multiple Chaos Blasts, and then begins to punch him away. The two clash, with Vegeta's frenzy being very unpredictable for Piccolo. He can tell that he is still the stronger of the two, but with how frantic this Wisp form is, it's very hard to go against. Chaos Knuckles and Nappa clash with their own forms of drill punches. Knuckles pushes back Nappa, as Nappa goes to escape into the ground and rush up just like Knuckles did to him earlier. This doesn't work out very well for him as he's just kicked away. Enraged, Nappa takes out another Wisp Vial and bursts into a new flame power. Nappa bursts over to Knuckles, exploding in a fiery energy. Knuckles is blown back as Nappa fires multiple fiery beams directly at him. As they are all fighting, the humans are having a terrible time against the Cybermen. The Laser Cybermen is barreling into all of them, knocking them away, as the Spike one stabs them all. The problem is that once they find an opening to attack, the Cube Cyberman drops a giant cube in the way, so they hit that instead. With that cube disorienting them, they are open to attacks from the other two. Yamcha fires his spirit ball around to try and catch up with the laser, and actually manages to hit him a few times, almost knocking him out of the form. The Cube Wisp notices this and decides to take him out of the picture. Cube jumps over Yamcha and transforms into a gigantic cube, landing directly on top of him, crushing him. Once the cube reverts back to look, Yamcha is crushed, dead. Tien and Krillin scream out no, as they are barreled into by Laser. Krillin, in a fit of rage, powers up to his maximum, unleashing a Destructo Disc right at Spike. Spike throws his spikes right at it, hoping to cut it in half. Unfortunately for him, the disc is way more powerful and cuts Spike right in half, killing him. Now, it's a 2v2 match, and it's not looking good for either of them. Krillin is being decimated by the laser, with Tien being just as decimated by Cube. It looks hopeless for them, until Tails returns and catches Laser right between his two tails. He sticks a contraption right on his head and sucks the Wisp energy right out of him and into a capsule. The regular Cyberman falls to the ground depowered, with Tails stomping its head in. Thankfully, Tails tried to find a way to get rid of the Wisp powers after examining Raditz' body, and managed to find a good source. Though, it's not going to be easy going after the cube if he summons his cubes all over the place. He tries to trap them all, but Tails is able to fly them out of harm's way. Tien claims he's not going to be finished yet, and once he sees that he might have a good shot, he unleashes a Tri-Beam right at the cube. The Cyberman transforms into a giant cube, tanking the Tri-Beam. Tien isn't going to give though, beginning to give more and more of his power to destroy the thing. The cube begins to feel its shell cracking, and summons another cube over Tien's head to crush him. Krillin and Tails jump right ahead though, and catch it, holding it in place just long enough for Tien to unleash all that he has, and the Tri-Beam bursts right through the cube, completely destroying it. Krillin and Tails land right next to Tien, telling him good job, but Tien just falls to the ground. They go to check on him and find that he's dead. He used up all of his power in that Tri-Beam to save them, and it cost him his life. The two cry, mourning Tien and Yamcha's deaths, and turn to watch and hope that Piccolo and Knuckles can defeat the other two and stop this madness. Thankfully, Vegeta and Nappa have been on the back foot against the other two, as even with their wild Wisp forms, the Chaos forms are much more powerful. Eventually, the two group back together, and Vegeta is infuriated that even with his powerful Frenzy form, it's not enough to defeat this Namekian. Him, the proud prince of all Saiyans, beaten around by a slug. If he didn't have those Chaos powers, then this would be a breeze. He's not going to let them survive this though. Vegeta activates his other Wisp power, the Black Hole Wisp, and begins to suck in the others towards him. Piccolo and Knuckles are pulled into Vegeta, with him unleashing a gigantic burst of void energy to send them flying away. With them sent flying, Vegeta flies straight into the air to search for the moon. Once he flies up, he looks directly at the moon, knowing that a full moon would be there. Though, he is horrified once he sees it. It looks like half of the moon has been destroyed. Who could have done this? With the moon in this state, it'll be impossible for him to become a great ape. Is that why Kakarot had to resort to that new transformation? He didn't account for this at all, and is surprised when Knuckles Chaos controls in front of him and punches him back down to the ground. When Vegeta lands, Piccolo laughs, saying that he guesses it was a blessing that Eggman blew up half the moon when he did. As now, they can't rely on the Great Ape transformation anymore. Vegeta screams out, saying the moon isn't gonna stop him. He forms his spirit ball in his hands, hurling it into the air. The two are confused as to what this is, until Vegeta and Nappa begin to grow in size. They yell out, blasting them with their chaos energy, but the transformation is too great, and the two have now become great apes. Piccolo flies up and punches Vegeta across the face, saying they may have grown in size, but that's nothing to him. Vegeta isn't done yet though, and instantly bursts back into his frenzy. Piccolo is launched away, and when Knuckles goes to help, Nappa transforms into his burst to attack him as well. With all of these powers stacked, the two great apes are a giant force to be reckoned with. Piccolo and Knuckles attack with all that they have, but unfortunately, this power they have is just way too much. The fact that with their chaos forms it's too little is crushing them. Knuckles is getting really tired too, as keeping his chaos form up for too long is making him exhausted. Piccolo tries to get him to keep fighting, but Knuckles apologizes as he's way too tired. He collapses to the ground, back to normal. Nappa smiles, moving towards him as Piccolo rushes to go and save him. Vegeta bites off Piccolo's arm and headbutts him into the ground, as Nappa launches a gigantic fire blast from his mouth directly at Knuckles. Tails and Krillin rush in to go and help, but it's too late. Knuckles is incinerated by the blast, with no trace of him left. Piccolo sits up to see that Knuckles, one of his big brothers, has been killed. He can't handle it. Piccolo's mind snaps as he unleashes all of his chaos energy for the first time in his life. Piccolo grows in size, losing his form and evolving into the being known as Perfect Chaos. Perfect Chaos roars, his tentacles nailing both Vegeta and Nappa in the chest. Vegeta is injured, sure, but Nappa is hurt worse, as the water of Perfect Chaos completely washes away his burst form. Vulnerable, Perfect Chaos wraps up Nappa in his arms and unleashes a blast from his mouth right at his head, vaporizing it. Nappa's headless body collapses to the ground with a huge crash, and then it reverts back to normal size. Nappa is out of the fight. Perfect Chaos and Vegeta then go at it with each other, the two giant beings clashing together, causing massive damage to the area around them. From Angel Island, Kami can tell that his time is nearing its end. With Piccolo as Perfect Chaos once again, the Piccolo they know now is gone. It's hopeless for them, and he apologizes to Mr. Popo and Tikal, saying that he wishes he could have done things differently. Gohan looks at Kami in fear. Mr. Piccolo is gonna die? Chaos and Vegeta are going at it, with the Frenzy power-up taking a lot out of him. Gigantic chunks are ripped from his body faster than he can regenerate them. And no matter how many blasts he fires out of his mouth, Vegeta can shoot them out faster and take them down. Krillin and Tails watch in horror as Vegeta takes a gigantic chunk out of Chaos's brain, causing the monster to roar in absolute agony as it's dying. The creature shakes and loses its form, crashing down to the ground as just a giant puddle. Piccolo has been killed. Kami fades away, thanking the others for being with him in his final moments. The three yell out, with Gohan losing it. He explodes in power and bursts off of the island down below, with neither Popo or Tikal able to stop him. On King Kai's planet, Goku and Sonic land back down, finally finished their match and informing each other that they did a pretty good job. King Kai screams at them once they get down that they need to get their ears checked. He's been yelling at them for a long while now that the Saiyans had landed on Earth. He was trying to get their attention, but no, they just had to fly away after beginning to spar. Goku and Sonic's hearts drop. The Saiyans are on Earth? Is everybody okay? King Kai yells out that they're not gonna be if they don't get down there right now. The two thank King Kai for everything and burst off of the planet at super speed to go and help their friends. On Earth, Vegeta laughs out in triumph, as even with the power of chaos on their side, they were nothing to the might of the Prince of All Saiyans. Not even Kakarot would be able to kill him now. As he stomps towards Krillin and Tails, Gohan rushes right in and headbutts Vegeta right in the chest. Vegeta stumbles back, surprised by the attack. Gohan raises his hands in the air, firing a Chaos Masenko directly at the artificial moon to destroy it. Vegeta yells out no as he begins to shrink back to normal. Vegeta is reverted to his base as Gohan collapses exhausted to the ground. Vegeta, in rage, punches Gohan right in the stomach and throws him at Krillin and Tails. The two are hit by Gohan's body sent flying back. Vegeta says he's been humiliated enough today and won't let some hybrid Saiyan brat get the better of him. He begins to charge a Gallic gun, saying that it's all over. Until he is struck in the back of the head by an electric beam. Hurt, the Gallic gun disappears as he turns around to see what happened.
I'll show you what real evil is! Get a load of this!
E-101 Beta fires a gigantic energy beam at Vegeta, which he dodges by flying into the air. He is then bombarded with multiple badniks swarming all around him. He destroys most of the ones around him, with Gamma and multiple egg robos shooting at him from below. Vegeta rushes towards them, with Gamma flying out of the way and the egg pawns destroyed. Vegeta looks up asking, who the hell is this guy? Eggman tells him he is the Eggman, and if anybody is going to rule over this planet, it's going to be him. So he had better back off. Vegeta goes to attack Eggman until he is blitzed by a blue blur. He falls to the ground and looks up to see Metal Sonic. Metal Sonic rushes Vegeta, matching him blow for blow. Vegeta is surprised as this one is very different from the other machines. This one is much faster too. So much faster that he can barely keep up. He is also being pelted from behind by Gamma and Beta, so this isn't helping his case against Metal. Vegeta turns to blast away the two robots, and the two aren't able to move out of the way in time. But another robot appears in front of them, knocking the blast back at Vegeta. Metal Goku lands next to Gamma and Beta, rushing in at Vegeta as well. Vegeta can't believe his eyes. Kakarot? Metal Sonic and Metal Goku tag team Vegeta, knocking him around as Eggman laughs. Did this fatso manage to make robot copies of Kakarot and that blue furry? As irritated as he is with these two fighting him right now, he has to admit that it's impressive. Unfortunately though, his talents are going to go to waste. Vegeta activates his Void Wisp and pulls the two robots in. Even with Metal Sonic's speed, he can't resist the pull of a black hole, and is pulled in. With the two close, Vegeta is able to beat on them, and the gravity is preventing them from fighting back. As they are pummeled, Eggman smacks by Vegeta in his new Death Egg robot. Vegeta flies back, saying that this fatso can't survive against him for long. As he rushes to end them, he is nailed in the face by another blue blur. Vegeta falls back, wondering how Metal Sonic can still be that fast while injured, but it's not Metal Sonic. Sonic the Hedgehog speeds back in front of Eggman, saying that he was the last person he expected to see defending the Earth against the Saiyans. Eggman tells Sonic to shut up, as he had no choice. Goku then lands right in front of Vegeta, asking what happened to everybody else here. Kakarot. So they finally meet. If only he hadn't turned out to be such a traitor, then maybe the rest of his friends would still be alive right now. His heart stops. Gohan, Krillin, and Tails are all that's left. He turns to look at the three, who look heartbroken, and it confirms it. Sonic's heart drops as well. No, Yamcha, Tien, Knuckles, Piccolo, Kami, all gone? Goku's rage builds as he transforms into his Akari form in front of Vegeta, saying he'll never forgive him for what he's done. Vegeta says he won't live long enough to get any kind of revenge. Vegeta activates his frenzy power, and the two get ready to launch at each other. Sonic rushes alongside Goku, saying he's not doing this alone. Sonic then activates the new power he got from King Kai by yelling out, Kaioken. Sonic, with the Kaioken, rushes in to fight with Vegeta. The two go at it with him, but Vegeta is a lot more powerful than he expected with his Frenzy Wisp. As they go at it, Vegeta is happy to see that Piccolo and Knuckles were a lot stronger than these guys. They were supposed to be their greatest hope. What jokes. Vegeta ups it with the black hole to pull them in, but thankfully with the Kaioken added on to Sonic, he is fast enough to outrun it and fire multiple Sonic blasts at him. This actually damages Vegeta, so he has to revert back to Frenzy, which gives Goku enough time to attack him with all he has in Akari. Sonic's speed is becoming a great issue, as this Kaioken multiplies his already great speed. He tries to focus on him, but Kakarot keeps distracting him with his own power. He needs a way to get this hedgehog out of the picture. As they all keep fighting, he notices that Tails is cheering on Sonic from behind. This makes him come up with an idea. Vegeta blasts away at the two, and with his black hole power, sucks in Tails towards him. He grabs Tails by the neck, and says that if they want this two-tailed freak to live, they had better back away. The two immediately stop attacking and revert back to normal. Vegeta laughs, saying that was much easier than he thought it would be. These two are so naive. Tails yells out at Sonic to help him, and Vegeta tells him that it's too late for him anyways, and he doubts he'll be seeing Sonic again. Sonic yells at Vegeta to stop and put him down, but it's too late. Vegeta squeezes and crushes Tails' neck, killing him instantly. Vegeta drops him to the ground, laughing, as Sonic is too stunned to speak. He looks at the lifeless body of his best friend, as Krillin and Gohan rush to try and revive him. He was too slow to save him, too weak to save him. He's the reason he's dead. Anger builds inside of Sonic, with his power rising. Vegeta just expected him to break down and sob, but not begin to build energy. A black aura surrounds Sonic as he explodes into a rage, unleashing Dark Sonic. Goku can't believe it. This power, it's similar to that of Super Sonic. Did Sonic finally manage to access the power of Chaos without any emeralds? Dark Sonic appears in front of Vegeta, punching him right in the chest. Vegeta spits out blood and quickly goes into his black hole form to save himself. This won't do much though, as Dark Sonic surrounds Vegeta, beating him senselessly with his new form. Vegeta is beaten down extremely by this power. No matter what wisp form he uses, Black Hole or Frenzy, it's nothing to the power from Dark Sonic. Dark Sonic Chaos controls all around Vegeta, firing Dark Chaos beams around to knock him around some more. No matter what Vegeta does, he can't counter the raw speed and power of Dark Sonic. Vegeta reverts back into his normal form, with Dark Sonic standing over him and striking him savagely. Vegeta coughs blood as he's torn into by the furious Dark Hedgehog. Is this the end for him? Eggman then appears behind Sonic, saying he's never seen him this angry before. Dark Sonic turns to glare at Eggman, with Eggman saying that he's disappointed that he let his temper get out of control, and that he's stooping down to Vegeta's level. Dark Sonic looks at Vegeta, and then over to the dead body of Tails. He finally begins to get his mind straight, and stands up off Vegeta. He reverts back to normal, and turns to Eggman saying he's right. Vegeta summons his space pod, attempting to escape, but Goku grabs him, stopping him. He says that they may not kill him, but they're definitely not letting him get away. They have some more questions for him, and he's got a lot to answer for. Goku hits Vegeta on the back of the neck, knocking him right out. Eggman says that any jail that Gun or King Acorn has won't be able to hold him, so he'll take the Saiyan back to his egg carrier, where they can interrogate him there. Eggman summons the egg carrier down, with him, Metal Sonic, Metal Goku, and Gamma and Beta heading inside. Sonic collapses in front of Tails' body, sobbing, with Goku, Krillin, and Gohan coming over to comfort him. As they all cry over all the death that has happened today, Krillin says that they may not all be gone forever. The others ask him what he means, as with Piccolo dead, Kami's dead too, so the Dragon Balls are gone forever. Krillin tells them that the Dragon Balls on Earth are gone, but Vegeta said that Piccolo was something called a Namekian. If a Namekian here can make Dragon Balls, then there's a chance that a Namekian up there can make them too. They might have a chance to bring everybody back. And with that, we're gonna end this episode right here. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, as it was pretty dark with almost all of our heroes dying. Don't worry, next time we move into the Namek Saga, where we have a chance to bring everybody back and put more of the King Kai training to use. If you guys want to see that faster, then make sure to like this video and subscribe, as if we can hit 1,000 likes on this vid, then I'll make sure to release the next part. Before I go, I just want to give a huge shout out to all of my amazing patrons. As we have Patrick Sandelin, Always Zero, John Lister, Boris, David Monroe, Nathan, BBB, Sinshenron92, Ogata Shiba, Monal, Levin726, Quintez Shepard, Tatiana Turner, Bossmaker, Thomas Billington, Yerdino123, Plubcole, Sonic, Blake Foyer, Kick Gazo, Jared Guzman, and Xavier Smith. Thank you all so much for becoming patrons, as these videos really wouldn't be possible without you guys. And with that, thank you all so much for watching, and until we meet again. See you later!